The stragglers would just miss all the good ones. So we're going to talk about prospecting today. We're going to start our new topic, which is prospecting. And the reason why I decided to get into prospecting now is because there is a changing market. And the best way to really face, whoops, I'm hearing myself. That means somebody is not turning their mic off. Danielle, if you could just mute whoever that is, that'd be great. Hey, Ray, welcome. So the best way to really face a changing market head on is to discuss prospecting. There is no market that really can influence us if we're not prospecting. Market goes up, market goes down, non-issue as long as we're prospecting. In other words, the market's in our head. Market's in our head. Somebody said to me once, there's no such thing as a down market, just overpriced listings, right? 2007, 8, 9, 10, 11, market was going down without even hitting the sides. It was going down so fast. Were we still selling real estate? Yes. Were we still taking listings? Yes. Did we have to price them better? Yes. That's all. We were still making a ton of sales. Maybe the rest of the agents weren't, but great agents were still making sales. So the market is really what's in your head. Don't worry about what you read on the news. Don't worry about what other agents in the marketplace are saying. You know, this group of winners, this group of collaborators, you know, we're here to support and collaborate together and make sure that we all succeed, even in a changing market, especially in a changing market. So what is the best way to ensure that we all have success in this market? We talk about prospecting. And in fact, I would venture to say that, you know, there's something I was talking about with one of you, I can't recall this week. A lot of people, the public, and you guys can probably relate to this, the general public, they look at the past couple of years. How many people have come up to you guys and said, oh man, you're in real estate. You guys have been crushing it over the past couple of years, right? And you're thinking, what the hell are you talking about? It's been hard the past couple of years, right? They think we've been crushing it. And the truth of the matter is, yes, everything's been selling above asking price. Yes, all the listings have been, you know, selling with multiple offers. It hasn't been easy to take a listing. There hasn't been that many out there. So a lot of times what goes on there, you know, kind of in the public consciousness and what happens with us internally on this side of the curtain, you know, behind the curtain in the business are two different things. But for great agents like us, this changing market could be a blessing. I know it is a blessing. And that's because now is when an agent, a great quality agent, is really needed. Now is when our skills are really important. Now is when a good quality agent really shines. So let's talk about skills. Let's talk about how it can really support our community, take listings, make sales, and really separate ourselves from the agents that really don't know what they're doing, because most agents are kind of lost, especially in a changing market. Fair enough? All right, we're going to talk prospecting. This is what separates the professionals from the amateurs in the real estate market. Point number one is on prospecting. It's a mindset point, all right, in relationship to prospecting. Think about the following affirmation as you begin to prospect each day. I am efficient, I am effective, I am productive, I am profitable. Prospecting, and Sean prospects a ton, Mark prospects a ton, Chad prospects a ton, Ray, you prospect a ton. A lot of people on the call are prospectors. A lot of it is mindset. A lot of it is mindset. It's like mostly mindset. So one way to really and truly support your mindset is to utilize something called affirmations. If you haven't ever tried using affirmations, try them today. And if you don't know what affirmations are, it is a line of verbiage. It is something that you say to yourself, to affirm to yourself, to affirm to your subconscious who you are, what you're about, what you can be counted on It's recreating a default setting of kind of what you're made of. So this is one affirmation that I've used for years. I am efficient. I am effective. I am productive. I am profitable. What would happen if you woke up in the morning and the first thing you did was for 5 minutes, you just repeated that to yourself? I am efficient. I am effective. I am productive. I am profitable. I am efficient. I am effective. I am productive. I am profitable. If you took a mindset break during the day and did the same thing for 5 minutes, or even right before bed, as you're dozing off to sleep, I'm efficient, I'm effective, I'm productive, I am profitable. And then you went to sleep. And then you dreamt about that all night, right? How about just going to sleep and dreaming about that for 7 or 8 hours, being efficient, effective, productive, and profitable? How about stewing in that over a nice slumber and then waking up being kind of motivated? Or any other affirmation that you like. Does anybody use affirmations or have any affirmations that they would like to share? How about I am a great salesperson? How about I am fit? How about I eat healthy every day? I get plenty of sleep. Whatever it is, affirmations are just something you affirm to yourself. It's just to support the goals that you have set for yourself, to move your life forward, to move yourself forward. That's an affirmation. You're affirming to yourself. Make sense? Good. Point number 2 on prospecting. To make your prospecting time better, make your mornings media free. Media free. This is a big one for a lot of people, especially the younger ones. No TV, no radio, no newspaper, no emails, no voicemails, no social media. What is the first thing that most people do as soon as they wake up? What is the first thing that you guys do as soon as you wake up? What do you reach for? Anybody do this? They wake up. Who does this? Check emails, check what I. Does anybody do that? This thing could be very, very evil. It might be an interesting test to make your mornings media free for a day or a week. Do a test. Try it out. Try it out. If you're somebody that prospects in the mornings, try making your mornings media free just until noon. Just until noon, if you're a morning prospector, and see how it affects your day. See how it affects your mindset. Do you really need to check all those? Is there an email that's so important that can't wait till after 12 noon? Is there any world news that is so important? Wars. There's such awful stuff going out there in the world. Is there any? Do you have to know about it? All the atrocities. Can they wait till after 12 noon? Can you just maybe do your affirmations or a meditation or do some exercise or some stretching or have a healthy breakfast, or role play and do your prospecting and then let all the garbage in, right? Has anybody ever tried that? A kind of a media cleanse? Anybody ever tried that? How are you on that, Ray? Have you ever, how are you with kind of media in the mornings?
I do check my phone. It's the first thing. It's a habit. The only time I'm aware of what you're saying. The only time I go media free is when I'm on vacation. I will literally not touch my phone for the entire day.
No kidding. Why do you do that?
Because I want to disconnect and just be present.
Mm-hmm.
What does that feel like?
It feels great. I'm against social media, but I use it for work.
Yeah. So it's really, so you give yourself that gift when you're on vacation, and it feels amazing when you're on vacation. I wonder what it, just as a test, I wonder what would happen if you tried that, for 1 week, just the mornings, how that would impact or influence your business, your day, just for a few hours in the morning. How would it impact your mindset? How would it impact your productivity? How would it impact your efficiency? How much could you get done? Could you really control your attitude, your approach, your expectations, your efficiency, your workload? Could you be more productive from morning until noon, let's say? Could be interesting to find out, Maybe not even for a week. How about maybe tomorrow? Just give it a shot, report back. Could be really interesting. All right, cool. Next point. We must work to strengthen the link between prospecting and achieving the goals that we have set. Prospecting and achieving the goal that we have set. It seems kind of obvious. There's a link between prospecting and achieving goals. Well, of course there's a link. We prospect and we achieve goals. That seems kind of obvious until you start prospecting, and it's like, this isn't fun. Is this really going to work? Like, God, this is tiring. It's boring. It's monotonous, until you actually get a deal from it or 2 deals from it. And you're like, holy, this actually works. Then you start connecting the dots. When I make calls, I get deals. When I talk to people, I get deals, right? Dave Buss, when I have people at a party in my backyard, I get deals. Holy crap, this works. You start connecting those dots, right? So you have to strengthen that link. If you're just prospecting and you don't really believe it's going to work, it's brutal. You got to strengthen that link. Sean, I don't know where you're at. You're kind of maybe in the car or driving around. You're starting to strengthen that link, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, still haven't had the full concrete proof yet, but I'm believing it.
Yeah, it's growing in a massive way. In the beginning, you've been on the team for like 2 months. You're prospecting now a minimum of 3 hours a day. Sometimes it's 4 to 4.5 hours a day. And now finding really great leads, and a listing is virtually around the corner. The leads are there, and there's a listing or 2 really right around the corner, kind of literally and figuratively. But in the beginning, it's just like, how, I don't get it. Like, how does A lead to B? Like, how is this going to lead to business? It takes a little bit of blind faith. But sometimes it starts with blind faith, and you just have some trust in the process, and then you need to see some proof of that, and then the link gets stronger and stronger and stronger. So work to strengthen the link between prospecting and achieving the goals that we've set. We must make a commitment to build our business through daily, efficient prospecting. Daily, efficient prospecting. Why do we have to do it daily? Why do you think, Mark, why do you think prospecting has to be done daily? Why not just do it weekly? Why not just once a week?
Because daily, it gets it puts a habit in place. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Yeah,
sure.
Puts a habit in place. Yeah, that's it. My answer. Short answer.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Yeah, can you mute yourself, Mark? Thank you. Yeah, without without getting a habit in place, you never gain momentum, right? You do it once in a while, you never get good. You never get good. You never gain a level of mastery. And then it actually never gets fun, right? The other thing is, if you don't do it daily and you don't do it enough, you never see results. And then it's like, what the hell? Why am I even doing this? Why am I putting myself through this agony, right? Try going to the gym once a month, right? Never seeing results. Why am I doing this even, you know? So make the commitment to building the business daily. You progress at a much faster rate. You build the habit. You see the results faster. Just wonderful things happen when you do it daily. Try showering weekly or monthly. See how that works for you. Much better when you do it daily. Try eating weekly. Much better when you do it daily. Same with prospecting. Just it becomes habitual, and wonderful, magical things happen when you do it daily. You know what the coolest thing is? Sean had this experience. He didn't prospect yesterday. And then Sean, how did that make you feel when you didn't prospect yesterday?
I felt a lot of anxiety. I didn't go to bed feeling accomplished. That's for sure.
It's become such a habit that he felt kind of like, I just don't feel good about, like, I didn't take a shower today. It's like, gross. I didn't prospect today. It's kind of how he felt. That's a really cool thing. That's, God, talk about business maturity. When he doesn't prospect, he doesn't feel good about his day. That's wonderful. So Nicholas says, what's the best time to prospect? So that's a great question, but it really depends, Nicholas. Depends on who you're prospecting. So let's qualify that question by saying, who would you like to prospect? Are you prospecting past clients, center of influence, expired listings for sale by owners, cold calls, cold doors? You know, either put it in the chat or, yep, go ahead.
Oh, I'm actually prospecting just listed, one of Amir's listings. That's usually my go-to prospecting funnel right now.
Are you doing that on the phones or at the doors?
I'm on the phones right now. I do want to do a door knocking campaign as well.
Okay. So Chad and Mark and Sean are all at the doors. And so Sean is saying whatever time you could do it consistently. Chad, let's have you chime in. What time are you going out? And these guys have all gone out pretty consistently at the same time. But Chad, what are you seeing out there?
I go out from 3 to 7 p.m. at the doors. I find that's when most people are home.
Mark?
I've got a short answer. My short answer would be just, so how many doors, actually would be a question, how many are you doing? Sorry, are you doing doors right now or?
Doing phones.
Phones. So, and then how many calls are you making a day?
Probably anywhere between 100. Yeah, about 100 calls, but I mean, that's only doing like an hour a day. Or yeah, so I've just started prospecting because I've just started getting kind of like the confidence to do it. And so yeah, I mean, the goal is to try to do like maybe 10 to 15 contacts per day, and that's probably
Great.
with making about 100 to 200 plus calls a day.
That's fantastic. And I think you're doing exactly whatever time you're doing it. It doesn't matter at this point until you get your legs underneath you. And then you'll kind of discover what the best time is for yourself. Right. So and that'll be answered as you get your legs under you, if that makes sense.
No, definitely makes sense.
Yeah, so I would say if you're doing Mark, can you mute yourself just so we don't get back the feedback? So I would say if you're doing these types of calls, it's later in the day is when people are home. They're probably not going to pick up a call that they don't recognize when they're at work. So later in the day, you'll probably notice that's when you get the most people to pick up, when these guys are out at the doors, 5, 6, 7 p.m., something like that. However, look at what Dave Buss says. He calls past clients and contacts them between 9 and 11 a.m. These are people he's calling that know him. So if you're going to be calling past clients, center of influence, people that know you, you have their cell phone numbers, call them in the morning. It's just too easy to find an excuse to skip it. That's what Dave says. So it's easy for you to skip out. So if you want to get that prospecting done to your database, call them in the morning. This way you know you're going to get it done. But if it's people that don't know you, they're strangers, then most likely you're going to want to do it at a time when you know they're going to be home, or you know they're not going to be preoccupied. So kind of evening times, weekends, stuff like that. Try that. But really, you can also just do what Sean and Mark had said. Do it at a time. Whatever time you do it is the time that you should do it. Try out different times. Whatever gets you on the phones. You could have different successes different times, and it all works. Truth of the matter is, you want to just be on the phones talking to people. You can make 5 contacts an hour or 15 contacts an hour. You could do 15 contacts an hour and get nothing. You could do 5 contacts an hour and get a listing appointment. And that is just the way this business works. So the point is just be out there and be hungry and make the calls. And that is the main thing. Okay, so congrats on doing that, and keep ramping up what you do. If you're going to be talking to people you don't know, continue to up your game. Continue to talk to more people. You're new at this, so just keep doing more. Whatever you think is enough, it's probably 3 to 4 to 5 times more. So keep hanging around people like this group and just continue to do more. It's excellent.
Can I add one thing in here?
Yeah, go for it, man.
Something important that I've noticed over the years, mostly from failure, is that skill acquisition is the way to get the 30-day, the 60-day people out. If you're not there yet, or you're still working on that, you can still get those people. It's probably going to be more of a long-term thing. But the way I felt in getting a lot of business when I was prospecting on a couple of teams was, it was almost being there at the right time, in the right moment, in the right place, right? And I don't want to say it wasn't a skill issue, because you have to know the questions, not the conversation, but the way to get over that before you have the skill set is to do it consistently, often enough, so that you're in front of them when that conversation comes up one day. So continue working on your skills, and you can get those people to commit to you sooner, or just be a lot more consistent and have 3 times the amount of follow-up as you think you should have to convert those same people. And it might take a little longer in the beginning until your skills get up. But I think just the consistency, which everyone is pointing out here, is by far the most important thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, what I'm hearing you say is quality and quantity, right? Keep improving your quantity, do it more, and keep improving your quality. Work on your skills. Right, Matt?
Yeah, if you get it, it's what I took from you. The one thing that rang in my head was call people and get better at it. And I've never heard an agent that wasn't successful over time. You can learn how to talk to people. All you have to do is just get better at that, and you can't fail. Like you won't be out of the business.
Yeah.
Simple.
That's kind of the beauty of this business. There is a wonderful simplicity about it. It's such a cool business because you don't need to have a degree in astrophysics. We're not curing cancer here. You don't have to be a surgeon. This is not rocket science. What do you have to do though? You have to have some guts, right? You have to be willing to improve every day. You have to put in the time, and you have to just, what Matt said, you know, do more and improve every day. Quality, quantity. Make more calls, improve your skills. Make more calls, improve your skills. Make more contacts, improve your skills. That's it. It takes some guts, but that's all you need. It's really, really cool. It's like the great equalizer, you know? You don't have to be born to, you know, the right family. You don't have to have this Ivy League education, right? I think it's great. I think it's just great. Next point. We must determine where our business comes from before we decide from where we are going to get our business. Create a simple system for sourcing all of our closings. So if you're a new agent, this doesn't apply to you. If you're someone that is doing some business or has even done a lot of business, this is a wonderful exercise to do. Where does your business come from? Look at your past 12 months or 18 months or 24 months of business. Really take a look. Where is your past business coming from? Write down the source. Was it from a past client? Was it from a friend? Was it from a neighbor? Was it from an expired listing? Was it from a cold call? Was it from an open house? Was it from a referral from my doctor? Was it from a referral from my accountant? Was it from, you know, a referral from someone in my yoga class, Michelle? Was it like, where was it from? When you actually source your business, then you can determine if it's duplicatable. You can determine if it's duplicatable. If you're someone that gets all these referrals from open houses, damn it, you better be at open houses every weekend because you're good at it. If you're someone that gets you know, if you're really good at finding door knocking leads, then be door knocking. If you're someone that's just is getting referrals from teaching yoga classes, then do that. I mean, wherever, if you're crushing it at expired listings or whatever your thing is, it's important to recognize where your strengths are so that you can kind of double down on those strengths. You can still have, you know, think of your business as like a table. It has multiple legs. You want to have multiple legs of income for your business. That's a healthy business so that it's not wobbly. You can't have a table with one leg, it'll fall over. So you want to have a healthy, you know, it doesn't mean that one leg can't be a little stronger than others, right? And so it's always a wonderful idea to source where your past business comes from, to know where you should put a little extra effort and energy. It's always a good idea to determine where your business comes from. Think about that for a moment. Think about your last transaction, or two, or three. You're probably going to see a little bit of a trend. For most people, it's a friend. It's somebody that they know. It's somebody in their life. It's a referral. These are people that know you. They trust you. They like you. They want to support you. Go through that exercise. It takes 10 minutes, maybe more. You have to write down all your deals. That's all it is. You write down all your past deals and you just write where it came from. You know, great exercise to do. When I say great, I mean profitable. This is an exercise that will make you money. This is an extraordinary business exercise to do. Next point, our business generally comes from it comes in three ways, all right? Waiting for it, buying it, or going out and finding it. Our business comes from waiting for it, buying it, or going out and finding it. 80% should come from finding it. Now, in this changing market, why are most agents going to suffer? Because most agents wait for business. They wait for it. They won't go out and find it. They can't afford to buy it. They'll wait for it. They'll wait for it. They'll be on social media posting something, and they'll wait for a friend or a family member or a neighbor to say, oh, I need some help buying a home. Oh, my friend, my colleague, my neighbor, my sister needs some help buying a property. Waiting for it, it is a legitimate source of business, but it's very few and far between. You'll starve while you're waiting for business. It doesn't happen frequently enough to build a robust, duplicatable business. It happens, just not often enough. It's great when it happens, but it cannot be counted on. You can't just sit there and only wait for business. Okay? Buying business. Does buying business work? Sure it does. Can you go broke in the process of buying business? Yes. Can you take out huge ads in the paper? Sure you can. There's agents, plenty of agents that spend $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000 a week putting ads in the paper. How many calls do you think they get? You could spend $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000 a month sending out postcards, trying to buy business. You can buy Zillow leads. You can do pay-per-click advertising. You can do all kinds of stuff where you're buying business. Guess what? Once that money goes out, it ain't coming back. Buying business can be a very dangerous proposition. You can't control if that will work or not. You spend $3,000 or $5,000 or $10,000 buying business. What if the business doesn't come back to you? You're up a creek. Let's talk about the third way. Going out and finding it, otherwise known as prospecting. 80% should come from finding business, prospecting. What does it cost to prospect? Nothing. It's proactive. You're not waiting for it. It's free. You're not buying it. 80% should come from finding business. Next point, create an efficient pre-prospecting routine. Pre-prospecting routine. Okay, pre-prospecting routine. So this is kind of cool. There's a book. I'll go through this pre-prospecting routine. That'll be the last point for today. But there's actually a book called Miracle Morning. Anybody read that book? Michelle's read it. If you haven't read that book, that's kind of a cool one. That is just, I mean, it's kind of mind-blowing. You think you don't know, I don't know, you guys, I thought I did not have more time in the day. I thought let me just catch up here.
There are
Yes.
there are two. One is just I'm listening to the audiobook. One is for realtors, and there's another one. It's the other one that I'm listening to, but I think that's the one that you're referring to. And I started this morning.
I didn't know there was one for realtors, actually. Yeah. So there's a
Yeah.
Miracle Morning for realtors?
Yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
There
Okay,
are
cool.
two. Yeah.
I read the one that was not for realtors.
Yeah, that's
but,
the one that I'm doing too.
Yeah, amazing book. So I did not think I had more time in the day. Like I was like, Miracle Morning, someone's like, read the book. And I was like, you learn that there is more time in the day. And I'll give you kind of a little preview about what the book is about. you get up earlier. You go to bed earlier, you get up earlier, and you find an insane amount of time to have this miracle morning, and it opens up some insane things. But let me just discuss what the points here are. Create an efficient pre-prospecting routine every day. This is an example. This is not something you have to follow, but here's an example of what a pre-prospecting routine can look like. Get up at a specific time every day. Really hard to have a good routine if you're waking up one day at 6, one day at 7, one day at 11, one day at 8, one day again at 6. There's no routine to that. It's really, really hard to develop a routine. So step one, get up at a specific time every day. Number 2, do a little bit of exercise or stretching or something for your body. Number 3, healthy breakfast. Number 4, we discussed affirmations. Number 5, arrive at the office at a specific time every day, right? So not only are you getting up at a specific time, you arrive at the office at a specific time. There's something really wonderful when you're just very kind of specifically following a schedule. You're putting your body on a regimen, and you just take the thinking off the table. I'm following the regimen. It's beautiful. Clear your desk and get your prospect numbers prepared. Again, you don't have to think about it. The numbers are all prepared. You know who you're going to call. I'm going to call my past client center of influence. I'm going to call expired listings. You already have it planned out. That's part of the routine. And the last 2 items are you role play with enthusiasm. So I would role play every day, and you have fun. That's the last point. So that's a pre-prospecting routine. It's a routine that you follow every day. You can change up the routine, but it's almost like you have your checklist, and you can even check the items off every day, right? Get up at a specific time. Alarm goes off, get up, check. Do my exercise, check. Healthy breakfast, check. Affirmations, check. Arrive at the office on time, check. Prospecting numbers already, check. Role play, check. And get on the phones and smile on my face, put on some music, have some fun, So let's pause there on our prospecting discussion for the day, and let's open up the mics and open up the floor. Who's got some? Let's open it up for any challenges, questions, not even about prospecting per se, but who's got any sort of anything they're dealing with regard to the business in general that they want to bring to the floor. Questions, concerns, anything. Whatever you're dealing with, I can assure you, other people are dealing with exactly the same item. So bring it up and let's discuss. Who's got something?
Well, I just put something in the chat box, just asking if anybody's had any luck with any lead gen sources like Regentology. Generally speaking, I've heard that set schedule is a complete waste of time and money, but I'm just wondering if there's anybody out there that's tried anything that's even remotely begun to work.
I'd be curious to know. Yeah.
But if no one's tried anything, I get that too. I mean, it usually seems like it's throwing good money after bad, but I'm just I seem to get calls from these lead gen sources an awful lot, maybe more so on the mortgage side too. They're, of course, everybody's got, they can send me 60 hot leads a day, and I know that they can't, because if they did, they'd be closing them themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we get calls all the time, and I'll always say, just give me the names of 2 or 3 people, even one. Give me the names of one person in my marketplace that's having success. I'll call them up. If they're crushing it, I'll buy it. I'm not opposed. If I can spend a few bucks and make a ton of money, I'll do it all day long. Like,
right, same thing with Zillow. I mean, Zillow still calls me, and I tell them, look, exactly what Aaron just said. Like, tell me who's having success. It's somebody that I can call and say that this isn't a waste of $300 a month. And they'll never give you that. So, well, Nicholas, what about bold leads? What anything good happening there? Or?
I literally just started last week. This is like the first official live week, and I've gotten 2 leads. What they do is they send out like a CMA campaign, just through the internet, and I got 2 leads, and I just send the CMA out and I follow up, but I haven't really heard any responses back from the leads. So
Okay, so
which is
I'll follow up with you in person at a Wednesday meeting, maybe in a couple weeks, just to see. I mean, I don't mind, I wouldn't mind throwing money at something if it was going to work, but I just get the feeling that it's just a waste.
I agree.
What I would listen, everything should be looked at from a business perspective, Nicholas. Spend a few bucks, make a few bucks, that's okay. But spend a few bucks or even spend no dollars and spend time and get no return, that time is valuable. You're spending time doing CMAs. You're writing up CMAs and spending 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour doing a CM, whatever it is, and you're getting no response. That's wasted time. I know, Sean, you've had some experience with some of these lead sources and actually done transactions, and you don't have to share the numbers, but it was brutal. And you've actually closed some deals. And I mean, it was like slave labor. By the time you actually calculate it, it was like disgusting how abusive it was when you actually calculate it. I actually got a call from Zillow. They made such a great argument. I was like, give me the name of somebody that's crushing it in the marketplace. They gave me the name of a local agent. I won't say his name. I did a deal with him recently. I called him up. I said, Zillow's telling me you're crushing it. Tell me, they told me how much you're spending. I think it was like $8,000 a month. And I was like, tell me how. He's like, Aaron, I'm canceling it this month. It's such BS. I can't even stand how he's like, it's paying for itself, but I am doing so much follow-up. It's like not worth the effort. It's like I'm spending the money, I'm making the money back. I could just dump all this, not waste all the time, call my past clients, do some normal prospecting and not be worth the hassle. Why am I spending this money and having all the stress? So I haven't seen anything that's been, the problem is this, quite honestly, I think. I mean, listen, we can all be honest with each other. If anybody finds a silver bullet, like, let's share, right? I haven't. But is prospecting fun? Is prospecting exciting? Would every agent on the planet love to just have the magic formula, have this secret pill that we could swallow and find listing leads? Of course we would. We are salespeople, and guess what? Salespeople love to be sold, right? Anybody sells me something, I'm buying. Girl Scout comes to my door, I'm buying. You know how many boxes of cookies I buy? I'm a buyer, right? Somebody sells chocolate or this or that, I'm buying. I'm a salesperson. I love to be sold, right? So the salespeople as an industry, when they're selling us something that can make our life easier and tell us we don't have to prospect, we could just write a check, we're game. But I don't know, if it was that easy. It's just what I've learned over the years. I think if it was any place worth going, isn't necessarily that easy to get to. I think, Nicholas, we're all rooting for you. I would love to see you have tremendous success in it. If you do, let us know. If anybody finds anything that works fabulously or even mildly, it's worth exploring. I haven't found anything that's been super motivating, to share yet.
The Regentology folks put the hard sell on me, and they keep calling me, but it's like $300 or $400 to sign up with them, and then they take 40% of every closed deal. So they have a lot of skin in it as well. But again, even $400, I got to wonder, like I said, if they had these listings, because Regentology is, I mean, they are their own brokerage in Virginia. I got to feel like if these leads were that hot and these deals were such slam dunks, why would they share them with me? Why wouldn't they just close them themselves?
Hey, set schedule.
Yeah.
They called me a year ago. I was like, this sounds great. This sounds awesome.
Yeah, I've had 10 people tell me that that's not the answer there.
They said, listen, it's only $2,000 and we do all this stuff, and we get all this information, and so I have a team. I was like, fine, I'll write a check, and I did. I wrote him a check, $2,000. I was like, sounds great. Let's try it. We'll try anything once. Not anything, but this is me. I'm just like, I'm a prospector. I've never bought a lead. They're like, I'm like, maybe I'm missing something. What the hell do I know? I don't know anything about technology. I must be missing something. These guys sound super smart. They aggregate 18 different Zillow, that. You don't have to pay money to all these people. We do it all for you. And they're like, oh my, I don't know what the hell. You guys sound great. I was like, why? Yeah, fine, $2,000 here. How much money do you think we made from that? I was like, this is stupid. I was like, oh, I'm a knucklehead. I'm an idiot. I know better than this, but I was like, all right, what the hell?
I've had people tell me about that with set schedule. Like, you call and people were like, why are you calling me? You're the 30th person that's called today. Like, and I was just like, because again, they gave me the same hard sell. So I reached out to a bunch of agents I knew, and they said the same thing. Like,
yeah,
this is the all-time scam, and they do try and sell you like that they have some proprietary,
I was writing a check. I was like, this is it. This is not going to work. But he was such a good salesperson. I was like, all right, my interest is piqued. Yeah.
Dave, it goes to your point. If it was so good, why aren't they doing it themselves, right?
Right.
You guys are giving out so many names that I've never even heard of, and I pay attention to this. Bold leads I never heard of, set schedule. The one company that I've ever heard business and seen it firsthand at Hoff Murphy team for years was HomeLight. HomeLight referrals is legit.
Yeah.
And you don't have to pay for it. It's a referral service. So you're not paying anything up front.
Yeah.
If you're working anything, I would suggest that. And at the same time, you have to keep in mind that this is so evolving so quickly that all these new companies coming out, they're all short term. What's going to happen 5 years from now? They're not going to be around, right?
HomeLight. So we work with HomeLight also, and that's a legit company, but you have to earn your way in. You can't. Not everybody can work with HomeLight. So it's like you have to be a producer to get in. So it's not. It's yes, there are some legit. Like there's another one, Referral Exchange. We do business with Referral Exchange. You have to earn your way in. You have to. It's not like everyone could just get on board. So It's not for the masses. There are legitimate companies, and you send them a referral fee. And we've done business with them. It's been great. Send them a referral fee, just like any other agent. You send them a 25% referral fee, got a listing, great. But it's there's so many other, like, they want you to pay up front, and it's just like, no, thanks.
That's
dude.
basically what Regentology is, but they have like a 300-hour onboarding, but and then like I said, they want.
Dave, so what it is this, it's not that some of these systems don't work in other parts of the country. It's just very hard to see it work. I have never seen these things work in our market, specifically in a high-end market. And I'm not being snooty about it. I just haven't seen it work. Can it work potentially in some other markets where there isn't the level of clickiness in a market, where people don't have 5 agents that they know, where they have virtually like friends in their friend group that are agents, because that's really the higher end you go, it becomes very clicky, and that's just the way it is, where it isn't the case in many other markets. And so I think that might be the difference maker.
For sure. And like what Matt said, and I think we agree. It's just, if something sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
Yeah.
And if somebody there had, but just because we're talking about prospecting, I thought it'd be good to address.
Yep.
Like I said, just in the last month or so, I've been, and I don't know how I got on the list, but I've been hit up by Set Schedule and Regentology, and they really give you the hard sell, and usually, just so you know, if a salesperson starts talking and acting like the guy making the timeshare presentation, it's usually a pretty good sign that they're not it's not a very valuable thing.
A lot of times all you got to do is say to them, what are you doing to me right now? You're prospecting me.
Right.
How are you doing that? You're calling me on the phone. Guess what? That's exactly what I do to get business. I call people on the phone. Right. You're proving to me exactly what I should be doing. Right. Congrats on prospecting. I know it works. That's why you're calling me. That's what your company is touting works. That's why you're on the phones. And that's exactly what I'm going to go do right now. Thank you for your time. I think I'll go do more of what you're doing. Thank you for the reminder. I'll get my butt on the phones, you know? So
Dan Beer said this yesterday, just lastly, and it really hit home for many people on the call. I saw everybody nodding. The market saved everybody in the last 2 years, right? If you remember that, he was like, this guy did 35 deals a year, then he went down to 20 because he was building a team. And Dan was just like, so what you really mean to say is that the market saved your ass last year, right?
Yep.
And he was like, yes. And I think it goes to this point too, where these are all short-term successes too. I mean, paying for stuff that's great in a good market even, but where's the stuff going to be when leads are even harder to come across?
Right.
Are you going to rely on them? How much more expensive are they going to get? Meanwhile, you can control your own destiny.
100%.
Right.
Yeah. And what Dan meant by that, for those of you that weren't on the call, is the prices went up so hard, so fast. Commissions went up along with prices. You could do less deals and make more money because prices went up. So that was very helpful. And then what Matt just said, learn to control your own destiny. You know, don't be reliant on outside forces, you know, control the market. The market is in your mind. So, so Nicholas, we'll make this the last one of the call today. So what's your response to prospects saying right now the market is too high? So are you referring to buyers? Unmute yourself, Nicholas.
Hey, yeah. So yeah, I'm just referring to prospective buyers. Yeah, obviously not sellers, but yeah. So just buyers or anybody who I'm trying to pitch, anybody who I'm trying to prospect for like a buyer, a just listed script.
Yeah. So they feel like the market is too high. And do they feel like it's going to get lower?
No, they think that the price point for the listing is too high, and that right now, yeah, the market is just too inflated right now.
And what if it goes up more?
Then they probably will miss out on the listing. Yeah, I guess that's a good rebuttal.
I mean, is it if it continues to go up, like that's what happens with real estate. I mean, it's more expensive than it was 5 years ago and 10 years ago and 15 and 20, and the market goes up over time. That's what markets do. So if it continues to go up, which it most undoubtedly will over time, if it looks like a bargain 5 years from now where it is today, how is that going to make them feel? Are they okay with that? Are they okay with missing it, or would they rather just buy something? What's best for them, in other words?
Right.
So Dave Buss, you're a lender. Is it going to get more expensive in the future to buy real estate or less expensive? What's your take on things? I don't know.
Well, I mean, I could talk for a half hour on this because right now, I mean, what's happening with the financial markets is wild. I mean, up is down and water is dry. But you know, what we're seeing, honestly, though, if you look at it, I mean, even as stocks tank, normally what happens is bonds will rally because the big mutual fund guys and the big hedge fund guys will take, you know, as they're pulling out of stocks, and they'll duck and cover into bonds or duck and cover into something else that they perceive as safe, like, for example, crypto, which is also dying right now.
You've already lost me, by the way.
What's that?
You've already lost me. You got to dumb it down for me, please.
Well, essentially, you have anything that's asset backed is going to hold value a lot better.
Okay.
That's in real estate. I mean, that's why they call it. It's real property. It's something that is tangible that you can you know, knock on the front door of.
Yep.
Where things like crypto right now, and you know, some of these these companies that don't really produce anything of terrific value they're getting creamed right now because there's nothing there. So even as rates go up, they will come back down. And I think they're going to come back down a lot more quickly than any of you would believe. But you know, the Fed has to raise rates to give them something to have something to lower when we have, you know, economic, really, things are going to get tough, I think, in the next couple of months with the overall economy. You're going to start hearing a word, stagflation, which is basically means you not only have hyperinflation, but you have an economy that's shrinking. It's a bad economic indicator. And the important thing for the people on this call to understand is that, again, real estate is tangible, and there's a limit to it. They're not making any more. Drive around West LA for a month and tell me where you see the vacant lot. There isn't anymore. And you have basically a country that all would love to live west of the 405. So, it's your basic supply demand economics. I mean, there's no more, there's more people that want to buy homes right now than there are homes for them to buy in Los Angeles County anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So just if any of you took a basic econ 101 or 102 class in college, you learned about supply and demand curves. I mean, there's just more people that want to buy homes than there are homes. So, it's to answer Nicholas's concern, you can show everybody, as Aaron talked about this a couple weeks ago, that graph that shows property values in Los Angeles County going back to 1985. And yeah, are there downturns, very short, very small valleys, followed by, peaks the next 5, 7, 10 years? I mean, you're never gonna time the market and buy a house at the bottom. So you have to buy what you can afford on the day. Maybe again, Nicholas, a selling point might be to say, hey, let's talk about maybe a price point that you're comfortable with, and finding you a house in a neighborhood that's still going to be safe and secure and has upside potential.
Yeah, so I'll add to that. I'll add to that, Nicholas. Two things I would say. Number one is, people think the market's going to crash or something. That is such emotional language. They have no clue what the hell they're talking about. Bottom line is this. So you think the market's too high? Well, it's your opinion. What if it goes up by 10% in the next 12 months? Then how are you going to feel? Like you should have bought something. Guess what? The market was at a peak in 2007, and the market was at a peak in 1989. If you bought at either one of those peaks, guess how much your property would be worth now? Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars more. The question is not whether you think it's overpriced or not. The question is just, can you afford to buy a damn house? Anything you buy will go up in value. You think people thought it was too high in 2007? Yep. You think they thought it was too high in 89? Yep. Do you think it went up by hundreds of thousands of dollars? Yep.
Yeah, I think I probably told you this before, Aaron. I finished building my house in late 2007, and it appraised for $1.5 million, and I thought, oh my God, I'm rich, because it was double what I owed. And then 2008 hit, and like 4 months after we moved in, it was worth $1.1 million. And everybody was pointing at me, going, moron, you really screwed on this one. And now here we are, 14 years later, and it's worth $3 million. Right? So yep. Did I time it bad? Absolutely, I timed it bad. But even as badly as I timed it, I'm double what I ever hoped it would be worth. Right? And again, that's a story you can tell, is to say, look, is property going to be worth, like the house across the street from me that, the old couple bought in 1956 for $6,000, that's now worth $1.2 million. Are your clients going to have those kind of results? Probably not. But if they stay in a property for 10 years, are they going to lose? Probably not.
Yep.
And Dave, to your point, lastly, I think that's one of the most important questions you have to ask a client, a buyer, is how long are you intending to stay in this home for? If it's 1 or 2 years,
right?
I don't know. If it is long term, or 5 years, 6, 7, like, sure.
Right. I mean, you're not going to make, that's my grandfather used to say, a horse that shits fast doesn't shit for long. I mean, if you're looking,
Wait,
if you're
say that
looking,
again?
a horse that shits fast doesn't shit for long. If you're looking to make it happen in 5 minutes, real estate's not for you.
Write that down.
Yeah. Aaron, you could use any of these, in your
Thank you,
listing
Dave.
appointments. You don't even have to give me credit, because I mean, but my grandfather used to say that it really makes sense. It's the same thing with, with a mortgage guy, or, a guy trying to make $1 million a year at the cell phone kiosk, by saying whatever he has to say to make a sale. You have to play the long game in real estate. If you think you're going to buy a house and own it for 7 months and turn around and sell it, for 20% more, because that's been the trend the last 6 months, that's a fool's errand. But if you really want to buy a house and it's something, that you plan on sticking around, you're going to be fine.
It'll be more than fine. That is the beauty of this state, California. It makes millionaires in real estate, even when they have awful timing, right, Dave Buss?
I mean, look, I wasn't smart. I was lucky, period. I mean, but again, if you're, playing the long game, I don't think, you're going to lose. Is real estate going to double again in the next 14 years? I can't say yes. But again, if you just look at the number of people that live east of here, from, here to New York, there's a pretty high number of them that would love to live here.
Yep.
Not there. So that generally creates demand.
Yep.
And there's no more supply, especially, let's just say, west of the 5 freeway, from San Diego, certainly to Santa Clarita. There's no open land to develop. So values can only go up.
Nicholas, I would also just pay attention to what people are saying, because I don't know if the market's so high right now in the last couple 20, 30 days.
Right, and that's going to change. It's going to come down a little bit with the spike in interest rates. It just has to, because their borrowing and spending costs are going up, and they've gone. Now we're at a place where it's almost double. Like, the payment on a $600,000 mortgage from 7 months ago to today has doubled. That's not sustainable. So we probably will see a correction. Will we see a crash? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
But there probably will be a little bit of a correction until rates come back down, which again, I think is going to be sooner than later.
I think it's always an opportunity to ask more questions. Somebody says, right now the market's too high, right? Oh, tell me more about that. Are you looking to buy a home? Well, not really. Okay, good. Well, that's a short conversation. Well, I think the market's too high. Okay, you're looking to buy a home? Well, yeah, I am. Okay, well, how much are you looking to spend? Well, I was looking to spend $800,000. And now the homes that I wanted to buy are now $1 million. Okay, well, tell me about your motivation. Well, my wife's pregnant. We're having twins. We live in a 1-bedroom condo. We can't find anything that we like. I have, okay, I'm learning there's a high level of motivation. Okay, you're telling me you think the market's too high, but you have to buy something. That's a motivated buyer. Just because you told me that you feel the market's too high, maybe you're airing some frustration, but it's worth asking some more questions to determine the level of motivation, because you need to buy a damn house. But if you're saying, the market's too high, I'll wait till it comes down. Okay, tell me more about that. Like, what are you looking for? How much are you looking to spend? Have you talked to a lender? Nah, listen, properties around here, they're worth 800. I'm going to wait till they come down to 400. All right, you're not real, right? It's like, we don't have to waste time having a conversation with someone that's not motivated.
Right, that person doesn't want to buy. And I've talked to that person. They don't really want to buy. They want to steal.
Listen,
they want to steal.
If you need a car, you're not going to say, I'm waiting 4 years for the right deal. You're going to buy a damn car. You're just going to find the best deal out there.
Exactly. Yeah. So again, Nicholas, it's again, sometimes it's just don't take it at face value. Ask more questions, dig deeper, really determine, where they want to move, what they're looking for, what's their motivation, what's important to them about that. Dig way deeper, find out really what the motivation behind that is, and determine if they're just, totally wasting your time, if there's something really there. Because people don't buy casually. If they really need to buy, saying the market's too high, that's a smokescreen. That's not enough of a reason. Why do people really buy? They're getting married, they're getting divorced, they're upsizing, they're downsizing, they're having a job transfer, they're relocating, kids are going off to college, they need to downsize. Whatever it is, this is a life event that is happening. They have to buy. They don't just casually, I think I'll buy a house. No, dude, like there's something serious going on. So use that as an opportunity to really dig in and find out. All right, guys, in respect to everyone's time, let's wrap it up here. Thank you, everybody, for your wonderful participation. I really appreciate everyone's time. I am out of town next week. Let me try and determine what the heck we're doing. If we have somebody that can fill in for next week, or maybe I can do the call. I'll be at shareholders, the EXP shareholders meeting next week. But depending on where I am, maybe I'll just kind of log in from Orlando and we'll just jump on and share some great points next week from wherever I'm at. I think I'll just do that. I think I'll just log in wherever I'm at and take it from there. Cool, guys. I'll see you next week. Have a great week. See you then. Thanks for your participation, guys. Take good care.